Hello friends, welcome back to Raju Notes channel, the fortnightly current affairs and general knowledge update, more suitable for all kinds of competitive examinations and interviews for your jobs. Well, there was a feedback which was received from my subscribers that my fortnightly update becomes a little longish and it is difficult to keep attention span for that long. So instead of doing an update fortnight, from today onwards, I think probably we will do current affairs update every week, so that the video is also small and you are able to comprehend and finish off the video in a shorter time span, so that it is easy for everybody to assimilate. So let's quickly do this week's update of whatever is happening in the world. 7 new defense companies have been dedicated to the nation. This you have to know these names, and this is basically towards this Atmanirbhar in the defense sector also. And these defense companies have been incorporated in Munition India Limited, that is MIL, the Armored Vehicle Nigam Limited, that is called as AVNI, the Advanced Weapon and Equipment Limited, AWE, Troop Comforts Limited, TCL, and the Yantra India Limited, YIL, India Octel Limited, IOL, and the Gliders India Limited, GIL. Now this dedication of these 7 companies, that is dealing with the defense companies, will they will probably push more of the development in the defense field, with more competition, more private players moving in, and it is going to help the country overall in the field of defense. It is basically looking for a potential growth in this sector. In a very surprising move, Bhutan, China has signed an agreement for a roadmap to expedite their boundary talks. We know that China has got boundary issues with all, and somehow it has been tactics of China to resolve the boundary issues with everybody and only keep the issues simmering with India. Bhutan till now was a buffer state between India and China. Bhutan was pro-India, but now I really don't know the reasons. Maybe it is the money power which is talking in the stressful times of Corona and COVID, where everything is going down, the economy is going down. Bhutan and China have finally signed an agreement on a 3-step roadmap to basically expedite negotiations and resolve their boundary disputes. And they are expected to implement this roadmap to a successful conclusion. And India is putting up a close watch on this because of its growing ties now between Bhutan and China. This may create some kind of a trouble for us, or maybe China makes that inland into Bhutan, thereby reducing the so-called buffer state between us and China. So a new development in this field, we have to wait and watch for any other inputs coming in this field. So maybe by next about 6 months this topic might come up again. We already know that the relations between China and Pakistan are going down ever since the Afghanistan crisis has taken place. And because of this, Pakistan getting involved in Afghanistan, and Pakistan trying to show its good face to both Afghanistan and China, thereby losing its credibility. We have earlier discussed that how the 9 engineers of China, that is basically Chinese engineers who were killed in a bus blast which has happened, and these are the Chinese engineers who were working on a hydropower plant in the remote upper regions of Kohistan. And Pakistan initially tried to wave about, saying that first it was an AC failure, then there's an AC burst happening, and finally when put under pressure, Pakistan did agree that this was an act of terrorism and these Chinese engineers were killed deliberately. And now a step which is not surprising, but it is a step wherein China has demanded 285 crores from Pakistan as compensation for these 9 engineers killed. So you see, till date, rather no country in this entire world map has ever done something like this, asking money in lieu of the lives lost and penalizing a country where China has invested so much into their infrastructure. We all know Pakistan is not in a place, in a position to repay this. So where does it lead to? Is it leading to something else, where what China is famous for? Now will this project, will this hydropower project will be returned to China in terms of leasing it to China? Will China buy entire Pakistan like this? It is a point to be noted. But underlying thing, the Chinese and Pakistani relations are now going down south, wherein that credibility of each other is not there. The famous quote of Pakistan saying that the Pakistani and Chinese relations are higher than the mountains, or deeper than the oceans, and that kind of a flowery language, that is no more there. I think probably China will sideline Pakistan in very near future. That is what is my assessment. Let's hold and wait and watch as to what will be the progress. Now, the immediate repercussion, Pakistan has blacklisted Chinese companies for a month over forged documents. Well, again, a very surprising news. And Pakistan's National Transmission and Dispatch Company has blacklisted a Chinese company, and it said that it will be barred from participating in all tenders for a month, not indefinitely, just for a month. And this is because the company had prepared a forged document. See, Pakistan doesn't have teeth to bite, so they are trying to show some artificial one. It makes no difference to China if they blacklist or not. But the point why it has been brought up here is that now even Pakistan is overtly, kind of trying to put a pressure onto China, which is just, I think, a futile exercise. But it suffices to say that the relations between both are going bad. Amid all this thing, a report had come out that China had tested a nuclear capable hypersonic missile in August that circled the globe. Well, hypersonic missiles over Mach 5, and China has been working on this project for a long time, and it is said that this nuclear capable hypersonic missile was test fired in August, that circled the globe, and before it was fired towards its target, I think this target was missed by over 20 kilometers from its designated position, but it doesn't matter. The test of this was initially hushed off. It was not brought into the media, but later on China had agreed to that, and with this a new race has now begun with US. Post this test, the US has started developing and testing a new kind of a missile system, and also a weapon delivery platform which can travel more on these speeds, this above Mach 5, and also working on some intercepting these missile capabilities. So a race on this field has begun. You should be aware of this thing, and that this China working on this hypersonic missile system thing is very much on. And with this capability, China can now strike any country on the globe. It is possible for him to do it. Amidst all this, our neighboring country Sri Lanka is going much into debts now. Sri Lanka has sought 500 million loan from India for its fuel purchases. We all know that the fuel prices are rising up and high, and Sri Lanka has now turned towards India. Well, Sri Lanka is also playing a game. It is for playing, it keeps asking money from China whenever it wants from that side. It now, it is exploiting the Indian situation, wherein India is trying to put a hold on to Chinese pearl string of pearls. So as of now, Sri Lanka has sought $500 million loan from India for its crude oil purchases. amidst the financial crisis which is happening in India. And they say that they will be able to, this will be able to guarantee till next January. So let's see what India's reaction to this. Will it give it some kind of a loan or not? We will come to know in a recent term. In Blue Flag international exercise, that is basically the Air Force exercise which is conducted, Indian Air Force Mirage 2000 squadron was taking part in this Blue Flag international exercise of 2021. And this Blue Flag exercise is considered to be one of the topmost exercises of the Air Force in the world. 7 countries including Israel, Germany, Italy, Britain and France, along with Greece and US, are participating in this World Games. And it is generally known that we probably are the country who have got fighter planes which are much of an older vintage, yet we maintain a very good standard in these kind of war games. Just for the information part. The Piyush Goyal and the J&K government has signed a memorandum of agreement with Dubai for various projects in the state, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. It's a very important day for us. We are, while signing this development projects with collaboration with Dubai, we are saying that Jammu and Kashmir is as good as any other state of India, and the so-called projection of Pakistan in the United Nations time and again that there is a genocide happening and there is a kind of a demographical change happening, that is being proved wrong onto the world map. So it is a very important step. Maybe questions will figure out, maybe this topic might figure out as to post in connection with the post abrogation of Article 370. Now the foreign players are coming in into J&K. So that is a very important step as far as the Indian government is concerned. Well, in recent news we have heard that the Indian Army has showcased its might and power in the northeastern areas, especially along the LAC in Arunachal Pradesh. We saw various video clips and videos moving off the anti-aircraft guns, the modified anti-aircraft upgraded L-70 guns, then followed by the Vajra K9, followed by the anti-tank firing positions, followed by the armed personnel carriers, and so many things being pushed in along with the Spinakas and rocket launchers and RT systems being pushed in towards the LAC, which was not there till date. So this is a very good step. We should remember the winters are setting in, and India has openly, the Chief of Army Staff has openly said that India is ready to take up its positions for this winter season. Yes, this keeping up with Indian soldiers will be difficult for China because they are not used to such a rugged terrain, and probably this is what Indian Army should put a pressure on. A very important landmark India has crossed, and it has administered 100 crore COVID-19 vaccines across the country. And the vaccination drive had commenced in January 16th, 2021, and that is a time when the critics of India had said that it will take, both inland and wherein from the foreign countries say that for a country like India, administrating 100 crore doses of COVID vaccine will take minimum of 12 to 20 years. But that was proved wrong by us, and it was the frontline workers who did a commendable job, and we have crowed 100 crores of COVID-19 vaccine, and it is estimated that about 20% of the country's 1.4 billion people have received both the vaccine shots. Rest is in progress, but this is a really news which we can be proud of. Another good news coming in for India. Pakistan continues to be kept in the grey list of global terror funding watchdog, that is FATF, and in a very surprising move, which is a talk of the town now, Turkey has been placed in this grey list. The so-called Pakistan's close friend Turkey has been placed. Now, why placing Turkey is in FATF grey list is important? Turkey is a NATO nation. Turkey is a developed country. Turkey has got strong financial background. Turkey has got good industries, and it considers itself to be a kind of a mediator between the West and the Middle East. And if such is the strong country which can be placed in the FATF grey list, that means that it has somehow antagonized the US with its approach towards the Iran and Iraq conflict, the way it has been financing and funding the terror organizations, though being that of NATO, and Turkey's growing I must say affinity towards the Russia and buying their equipment. So it has certainly antagonized US, and as a result it has been kept in the grey list. Well, in addition to Turkey, Jordan and Mali have also been placed under grey list. We know that Mali, there has been a coup, there has been the kind of fundamentalistic religious activities going on, terrorizing funding the terrorists. The same case with Jordan. So we know that it is there, but at the same time Botswana and Mauritius have been removed from these grey list. So great news, good news for India. This will put more pressure onto Pakistan, and already the Pakistani finances are crumbling. It is now making a huge hue and cry on it. China has refused to give him any kind of furthermore loans. It has already antagonized Saudi Arabia. Now it will look forward to US with the same begging bowl, with maybe. Now if you consider today, there is a speculation that China, Pakistan and US have made an agreement wherein Pakistan has said that it will give its airspace to conduct operations against Afghanistan. But it will not be so easy, though the Pakistani Prime Minister has denied it, but there is some, we all know that Prime Minister has got no say other than army, and Pakistani army has been purely sustaining itself on the aid, not the loan, the aid being given from US, and now everything becoming tighter, the country is certainly going to face a wrath of it. Again, maybe now something again is brewing up. China has cancelled hundreds of flights and have shut its school to fight a new COVID-19 breakout. See, first breakout, China kept quiet and was in a denial mode for everything and other. But now China has stopped so many flights and so many schools have been shut. That is an indication that we are becoming complacent, and there is some newer kind of COVID-19 is likely to spread again. So COVID, is it completely gone? No. Anything on a COVID issue? Likely there is one more, maybe what kind of a restriction we don't know, but yes, it is something to be worried about. In a very anticipated but surprising move, Russia and Chinese warships have held its first joint patrol in the Pacific Ocean. And this patrolling was done in the western part of the Pacific Ocean between 17th to 23rd of October, and this was aimed, as per them, in maintaining peace and stability. But we know that Russia and China have cultivated a closer bilateral ties in the recent years amidst the tension with West, especially US. We know that US, Australia, Indian and Japanese warships are there in this region, and they have been closing tie, and we know the flare up point with Taiwan, and it is any day anything can happen. I really don't know why it is holding on for such a long time, but all these are hinting towards a point wherein there will be a flare up in the international issues. Amidst all these things, there is an internal turmoil going on in Pakistan politically. If you recollect, some months back, the Pakistani political party Tehreek-e-Labbaik, this TLP, it was asking for expelling the diplomat of France after a caricature of the prophet going bad. and that time we discussed that Pakistan will never expel the diplomat of France because it will be antagonizing the entire European Union, and so forth. That thing did not happen. Everything went off well, but the TLP leader Saad Rizvi was arrested along with his supporters. So this thing has suddenly taken a toll, wherein now the protesters of Tehreek-e-Labbaik are in direct confrontation with the police of Pakistan, and every day there are losses of lives being reported. They are moving towards the capital city of Lahore, and there is a constant loss of life happening, and whereas the country's political system is totally unaware, or I must say indifferent to this particular agitation which is going on, and this will certainly lead to more turmoil in the already downfall of the Pakistan. In another news concerning the Sri Lanka, Jammu and Kashmir, a direct flight between the United Arab Emirates Sharjah and Srinagar has been flagged off, and this will be a first direct international flight between Jammu and Kashmir and the Sharjah. It will be operated by Go First Airlines, and the flight time is around 2.5 hours, and this will boost a lot of tourism, my mistake, tourism, and bring investment into J&K. The desert nation, hill station, people coming, visiting, foreign players, investment as such from Dubai. So this will be a good step for the United Nations. After the unexpected move of Turkey being placed in grey list, the Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has ordered expulsion of 10 envoys from its country, and it has also asked for release of one of its activists, Osman Kavala. And the envoys who have been expelled from his country are, just note these countries, it is Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Finland, New Zealand, and US. So see how and where the country is heading, and I think next will be his something to do with about its NATO's membership. We have to wait and watch. So these are the latest what is happening or happened in this week. So that was a very quick recap from my side. I'll see you back next week with the current affairs updates. Thank you. Stay